call the City Council Committee of the Whole meeting for Wednesday, March 2nd to order. A lot of things going on in individuals' lives, the world. Certainly peace in Ukraine is on everybody's thoughts. So whatever's on your thoughts, we'll have a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone. Alderman Jobson, if you'd be kind enough to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Alderman Jobson. Mr. Krupp, our city clerk, please call the roll for tonight.
Dunn.
Here.
Kelly.
Here.
McGinnis.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Grip.
Here.
Condon.
Here.
Cornett.
Here.
Dickman.
Here.
Jobson.
Here.
And Ortez.
Here.
10 present, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. So again, good evening, everyone. As we begin the meeting of the City Council Committee of the Whole, I'd again like to welcome everybody in attendance and anybody that's viewing the meeting on any particular electronic device. We respectfully welcome your comments and opinions, but please keep in mind as you share your thoughts, you're sharing them with all your fellow Davenporters and anybody throughout the region. We're happy you're participating in your city government, but ask that your participation please reflect the common desire we all share to make Davenport a greater place. Especially for the folks in here, if you have a cell phone, if you just please put it on silent or off, simply it doesn't get in the way of someone talking, that's all. If you want to address someone from the council, please come to the podium. The microphone's above you. Please address us as a body and not as any individual. You'll have that opportunity during agenda items and then public business at the end. Public business at the end is for stuff other than the agenda item. Please be respectful of us. We'll be respectful of you. Thank you. City Administrator Spiegel, anything for us this evening?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Very good. So we have no public hearings, but we have one great presentation, and we all love doing this. So I will meet our wonderful fire chief at the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, Mike Carlston, Fire Chief, Davenport Fire Department. Tonight's a special night for the Davenport Fire Department. This is an opportunity for me to introduce our 4 newest firefighters to the City Council, to our community, and allow Mayor Mattson to officially swear them into their new positions. Also, it's a special moment for these young men as they formally make a pledge to protect and serve our citizens, and a proud moment for them to share with their families as family members have an opportunity to pin badges on their firefighter uniform. These firefighters are important members to the Davenport Fire Department, but they are even more important members to their families at home. The fact that they are sons, husbands, fathers to the people that have supported them throughout this whole process is that are also here to celebrate them with this victory tonight. These 4 young men started with the City of Davenport in November. They have attended an 8-week in-house training program, and the 8-week period allowed for our firefighters to become properly trained to achieve the various state certifications needed and gain the experience needed to be assigned to a 24-hour shifts. Now it is my pleasure to present to you our newest firefighters. First, I'd like to call up Dustin Garner and his family. Dustin was raised in Loami, Illinois. He attended Western Illinois University and graduated with a bachelor's degree in law enforcement and justice administration with a minor in fire administration. He served in the U.S. Army Reserves for 8 years as a military police officer. Firefighter Garner served as a police officer for the city of Muscatine for 4 years and with the City of Davenport Police Department for 6 years. He has achieved his EMT certifications and is working on his Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 certifications. Dustin has been married for 15 years and has 2 children. Dustin's wife, Shireen, will be pinning his badge on him. First, we will let the mayor swear him with the oath.
I state your name.
I, Dustin Garner,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially,
and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of a firefighter
discharge all the duties of a firefighter
of the City of Davenport,
of the City of Davenport,
County of Scott,
County of Scott,
State of Iowa,
State of Iowa,
as now or hereafter
as now or hereafter
required by law.
required by law.
You're a firefighter. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And we'll get a picture.
Yep, everybody. Congratulations.
Next, I'd like to call up Grant Duncan and his family. Grant Duncan grew up in Bettendorf, Iowa, and graduated from Pleasant Valley High School. He attended Loras College, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in athletic training. Prior to joining the Davenport Fire Department, Grant worked as an athletic trainer for the Quad Cities Storm hockey team. Firefighter Duncan has achieved his Firefighter 1, Hazmat Operations, and EMT certifications. He is currently working on his Firefighter 2 certifications and plans to attend paramedic school in the future. In his free time, he enjoys water skiing with the Backwater Gamblers. Grant's father, Dr. Greg Duncan, will be pinning his badge on him tonight.
I state your name.
I, Grant Duncan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially,
and impartially,
to the best of my
to
ability,
the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of a firefighter
discharge all the duties of a firefighter
of the City of Davenport,
of the City of Davenport,
County of Scott,
County of Scott,
State of Iowa,
State of Iowa,
now or hereafter
now or hereafter
required by law.
required by law.
You're a firefighter.
There, he's in the shade.
Next, I'd like to call up firefighter Craig Malchow. Craig Malchow grew up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where he attended high school. After high school, he attended Western Wisconsin Technical College and graduated with an associate's degree in fire science. Firefighter Malchow has achieved his Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 certifications. Prior to joining the Davenport Fire Department, he spent almost 12 years as a firefighter in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and recently his family has moved back to the Quad City area to raise their 1- and 3-year-old daughters near their families. His wife, Mindy, will be pinning his badge on him tonight.
That
was smooth.
Watch that, right? I state your name.
I, Craig Malchow,
Do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully
and faithfully
and impartially,
and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of a firefighter
discharge all the duties of a firefighter
for the City of Davenport,
for the City of Davenport,
County of Scott,
County of Scott,
State of Iowa,
State of Iowa,
now or hereafter
now or hereafter
required by law.
required by law.
You're a firefighter.
Next, I'd like to call up firefighter Brian Shakur and his family. Brian Shakur grew up in Bluegrass, Iowa, and he is a graduate from West High School. Firefighter Shakur worked as a welder for 15 years before joining the Davenport Fire Department. He is obtaining his EMT certification from Scott Community College and working on achieving his Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 certifications. In his free time, Brian enjoys spending time with his wife, his 2 sons, hiking, weightlifting, and jiu-jitsu. His wife, Josie, will be pinning his badge on him tonight.
I state your name.
I, Brian Shakur,
Do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully
will faithfully
and impartially,
and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of a firefighter
discharge all the duties of a firefighter
for the City of Davenport,
for the Davenport
County of Scott,
County of Scott,
State of Iowa,
State of Iowa,
now or hereafter,
now and hereafter,
required by law.
required by law.
You're a firefighter.
Congratulations. Well, I just want to conclude by saying thank you very much for your continued support of the fire department. These men that we were able to present to you today are just a fine example of the many men and women that we have in our department, and it's truly our honor to continue to serve the community. So thank you very much.
Quite the well-rounded group also, and bring a lot of experience in many different areas. Thank you very much. All right, next is petitions and communications. I just have a couple small ones. First, I want to, I'll pause. I apologize, because I know most people want to stay for the meeting. Okay. I just want to call to your attention a little bit. Maybe most have seen that former colleague of ours that sat up here for a lot of years, Alderman Barnhill. I sat next where Alderman Jobson is and Alderman Dickman sits. We sat next to each other for a long time. His counsel, his advice, his outlook on the city was always in a positive way to how can we help Davenport, and he always was willing to talk with everyone. And so it's sad to say that he's passed, and we'll miss him. And I just wanted to let everybody know about that in case you haven't. So sad to say. Okay, Alderwoman Lee.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I just want to say that the 8th Ward meeting will be held at the Eastern Library on March 10th at 6 p.m., the second Thursday, as I try to do. And Director Gleason, I'm excited to say, will be talking about the capital improvement projects and the ARPA project. So it'll be a good opportunity to learn the direction that the City Council is considering going. So I invite everyone, whether you're in the 8th Ward or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman Lee. Alderman Ortiz.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to announce on March 21st at 6 o'clock, I will be having a 4th Ward meeting at the Kepi Building located inside the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. We'll have somebody from the police department, staff to help people sign up for different apps or to be called, and then somebody from hopefully Public Works to talk about a few of the projects that we got upcoming in the 4th Ward. So it's open to anybody. Like I said, 6 o'clock, March 21st, Kepi Building. Hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Ortiz. Alderwoman McGinnis.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have something a little lighter tonight, but this is a early heads up. Preservation Month is in May, and they're looking at doing different things during that month. And if you've ever wondered about your house, and I'm looking at someone in particular, I know I can't say who's curious about their house and the history of their house, this is a chance to learn how to do that. It's basically how to research your house. And it's going to be May 18th, which is a Wednesday night, so we'll be here, but May 18th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And it's in at the main library. It'll be fun. It's an hour long. It can either be taken online or in person. You do have to go online to register for it, but lots of people, I get lots of calls from people asking about, gee, how can I find out about my house? We have a lot of great old houses in Davenport, and it's kind of fun to know who was there, and they're going to teach you how to do that. So this is sort of the first celebration of Preservation Month, but want to let folks know about that ahead of time, and please sign up. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman McGinnis. Alderman Cornett.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just want to let everybody know, having a 7th Ward meeting tomorrow night at Mid-City High School at 6 o'clock. Major Bladel will be there. So come on out if you'd like to learn something about the policing in the Quad Cities.
Thank you, Alderman Cornett. Alderman Ortiz.
Thank you, Your Honor, for a second chance to speak. I would just like to thank you for your leadership. This morning, if people haven't noticed, Mayor Mattson put the Ukrainian flag outside, put it at half staff to show the support that we have from the United States for what's going on over there. It's a tragedy, and hopefully it'll get resolved soon. But I would just like to thank you for your leadership on that. That was a great gesture, and like I said, I was proud to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Team effort. Anyone else? Kind of neat to hear all the ward meetings and all the engagement. Citizens should be proud of the folks up here because they're willing to talk and engage and listen to their particular constituents. So I want to say thank you to all of you for doing that. So if there's no one else, very good. We'll move on to our items for discussion. There's 4 items, areas for discussion: community development, public safety, public works, and finance. The first one is community development. Alderman Grip and Alderwoman Lee will lead that discussion. Alderman Grip, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. 4 items on community development this evening. Item number 1 is the third consideration ordinance for case ROW 22-01, being the request of Seven Hills Paving LLC to vacate unimproved right-of-way south of East 59th Street and west of Tremont Avenue. Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Anyone from the council? Seeing no one, this item will move on. Item number 2 is a resolution setting a public hearing on the proposed conveyance of 14 public housing properties to Ecumenical Housing Development Group. Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this resolution? Anyone from the council? This item will move on. Item number 3 is a resolution setting a public hearing on the proposed conveyance of 3 public housing properties to Vera French Housing. Anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Anyone from the council? Seeing no one, this item will move on. Item number 4 is a resolution setting a public hearing on the proposed conveyance of 4 public housing properties to Habitat for Humanity Quad Cities. Anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Anyone from the council? This item will move on. Alderwoman Lee, will you please set our agenda?
Thank you very much, Alderman Grip. I move that items 1, 2, 3, and 4 be placed on the consent agenda.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That concludes community development, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Grip and Alderwoman Lee. I'll just say it's kind of nice to see. Thank you to the staff and the council for working with the 3 organizations. You see, we do that, and that's a great thing. So, public safety area is next. Alderman Jobson and Alderwoman Dickman will discuss. Alderman Jobson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There are 4 items under the public safety agenda. Number 1 is third consideration, ordinance amending Schedule 1 of Chapter 10.96 entitled Snow Routes by adding Duggleby Street between Locust Street and Jersey Ridge Road. Is there anyone from the public wishing to comment on this item? Anyone from council? Seeing none, that item will move on. Item number 2, a resolution approving street, lane, or public ground closures on the listed dates and times to hold outdoor events. I'll read each part, then ask for comment. First is Davenport Community Schools Intermediate Track Meets, Brady Street Stadium, 3603 Brady Street, multiple dates in April 2022. Closure 36th Street from Brady Street to just west of Davenport Avenue. Next, Davenport Community Schools High School Track Meets, Brady Street Stadium, 3603 Brady Street, multiple dates in April 2022. Closure 36th Street from Brady Street to just west of Davenport Avenue. And last, Knights of Columbus, St. Paul the Apostle, Blue Mass, 916 East Rushholme Street, Wednesday, May 18th, 2022, 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Closure East Rushholme Street from Arlington Avenue to Cary Avenue. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on these items? Anyone from council? Seeing none, that item will move on. Item number 3, motion approving noise variance requests for events on the listed dates and times. Again, I'll read each of these and then ask for comment. Kilkenny's St. Patrick's Day Party, 300 West 3rd Street, 8 a.m. Saturday, March 12th, 2022 to 12 a.m. Sunday, March 13th, 2022. Outdoor music over 50 dBA. And next, Diane Lamacki, John Nielsen at the Coffee House, 1315 Jersey Ridge Road, Thursday, April 28th, 2022, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Outdoor music over 50 dBA. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on these items? Anyone from council? Seeing none, that item will move on. And fourth and last, motion approving beer and liquor license applications. I'll read the new license, new owner, temporary permit, temporary outdoor area, location transfers, and then following are the annual license renewals, which are listed for your review. First is Carriage House, 312 West 3rd Street, temporary extended outdoor area, St. Patrick's Day, March 12th, 13th, license type Class C liquor. Next, Danview Inn, 410 East 2nd Street, temporary extended outdoor area, St. Patrick's Day party, March 11th through 15th, license type Class C liquor. Next, Kilkenny's Pub and Eatery, 300 West 3rd Street, temporary extended outdoor area, St. Patrick's Day Festival, March 12th through 13th, license type Class C liquor. Next, Max Tavern, 316 West 3rd Street, temporary extended outdoor area, St. Patrick's Day, March 12th to 13th, license type Class C liquor. Next, The Office, 116 West 3rd Street, temporary extended outdoor area, St. Patrick's Day celebration, March 12th through 13th, license type Class C liquor. And last, a couple more. Stompbox Brewing, 210 East River Drive, Unit 101, temporary extended outdoor area, St. Patrick's Day, March 11th through 13th, license type Class C liquor. Next, The Coffee House, 1315 Jersey Ridge Road, permanent outdoor area, license type beer, wine. And last, Assumption High School, 1020 West Central Park Avenue, April 22, license type Class C liquor. Is there anyone from public wishing to comment on any of these items? Anyone from council? Alderwoman Lee.
Thank you very much, Alderman Jobson. Under the annual license renewals, I would move to keep the GD Express Ram 2 LLC license type for discussion and possible tabling pending Davenport Police Department final investigation on the incident that happened on Monday night.
Just to be clear, are you asking to table tonight or just to leave on discussion this evening for next week?
What would be, help me, Tom.
My suggestion would be to leave it on discussion for next week, and I assume the police will be able to provide more information at that time.
Yes, okay, then that's what I'll do. Yeah, leave it on discussion. Thank you very much.
Alderwoman McGinnis.
Thank you so much, Alderman Jobson. I would ask that the report that's given to us, and I know this is an active investigation, so we may not have all the information, but I would ask that we have that no later than Monday, so that we can read it, and, if we have questions or we're ready with them. It's a little bit difficult when it happens at council meeting, and it's very hard then to respond. And so I would ask that that be sent to council by Monday at the latest. And if it's not possible, I understand that, but that might change my decision about what I would do. So I just would like to have it. And I think we probably all would. Thank you.
Mayor Mattson.
Yeah, so just, I want to make sure we're tracking here. The request is for calls for service, not on the investigation itself of the particular incident. Is that fair?
Yes, Your Honor, that's
Roger
fair.
that. So Monday, yeah, Roger, but the investigation doesn't come here. So, thank you.
All right. Seeing no one else, I'll just make a note that I will abstain from voting on the Assumption High School event. Otherwise, I would ask Alderwoman Dickman to please set the agenda.
I move that all items be placed on consent except for the GD Express liquor license renewal, which will be placed on discussion. Make a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Jobson and Alderwoman Dickman. The next area is Public Works. Alderman Dunn and Alderman Kelly will discuss. Alderman Dunn, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. We got 9 items this evening for Public Works. Item number 1 is the first consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 15.12.044 of the Municipal Code of the Davenport, Iowa. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 2 is the first consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 15.16.015 entitled the National Electrical Code of the Municipal Code of Davenport, Iowa. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 3 is the first consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 15.16.030 entitled Chapter 1 Modified of the Municipal Code of Davenport, Iowa. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 4 is a resolution awarding the contract for the Pacific Street, 65th Street to 70th Street overlay project to Manats of Eastern Iowa of Comanche, Iowa, in the amount of $123,979.50. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 5 is a resolution awarding a contract for the East 53rd Street reconstruction Phase 2 project to Langman Construction Incorporated of Rock Island, Illinois, in the amount of $9,075,259.10, subject to the Iowa Department of Transportation and Federal Highway Administration concurrence. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 6 is a resolution introducing the proposal resolution of necessity covering the 2022 50/50 cost share stream bank stabilization project at West 62nd Street and North Elmwood Avenue. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Alderwoman Dickman.
I just wanted to thank staff for all of their hard work on this one. It's been a long time coming, and I just really appreciate everything that everyone's gotten done to get us to this point.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 7 is a resolution awarding a contract for the Modern Woodman Park Fascia Improvement Project to Bill Bruce Builders Incorporated of Eldridge, Iowa, in the amount of $480,000. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. Item number 8 is a resolution awarding a contract for the Blackhawk Creek and Walnut Creek Clearing Project to Langman Construction Incorporated of Rock Island, Illinois, in the amount of $344,800. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. And item number 9 is a motion approving change order number 11 and 12 to Bill Bruce Construction of Eldridge, Iowa, in the amount of $68,522.16 for the River Heritage Park Phase 3 project. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Seeing none, this item will move on. And Alderman Kelly, would you set the agenda for us, please?
Thank you, sir. I'd like to make a motion to place all items on consent.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. And that does it for Public Works this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Dunn and Alderman Kelly. The last area tonight is Finance. Alderman Condon and Alderman Cornett will discuss. Alderman Condon, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have 8 items on finance this evening. Our first item is a third consideration, ordinance amending chapters 2.36 and 2.42 and 2.90 to change the geographic area in which civil service employees may live and to include part of Illinois. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Anyone from council? I'll take a moment, maybe pushed my button prematurely last week, and I often joke that I'm best on my feet, but when I'm forced to talk into this microphone, sometimes that's when that plan goes astray. So I prepared a statement, and then as I trail off, you can kick me.
Alderman Cornett will do that.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, as vice chair. Okay, so it's my personal wish that if you work for the city of Davenport, you lived in the city of Davenport. I appreciate that this matter before us is a practical matter. We need to find a way to attract more qualified candidates for our police force. And by opening up the geographic radius to include Illinois, it gives us a larger population to draw from. I'd look forward to support some other program that we could put together to help our police force attract candidates. I'm also aware that this is a very personal matter, and so I tread lightly and I ask for some grace from a lot of people that I admire. But for me personally, I can't get away from this being a principled matter, and so I speak from the heart. This next part is a heavy lift for me, and I'm a little nervous to dip my toe into these waters because I could be accused of straying from the matter at hand, and I'm not the subject matter expert. I'm far from it, and there's probably others on the council here, my colleagues, who are more qualified to speak to this than I am. I have a shorter lived experience than some, and I'm not a Puritan. I've probably come up short in other people's eyes in some of the areas that I'm speaking of. So I understand all the practical reasons why you may not want to live where you work. And the fact that I build houses for a living and happen to live downtown is not necessarily related, but it's handy, so I can relate. And so a lot of the reasons are legitimate, but I also feel like sometimes we speak around the heart of the matter as we discuss the issue, and I don't want to miss this opportunity to discuss why it matters to me. So we face a common challenge here in Davenport and in our larger community as a whole, and that's the socioeconomic polarization within the community. And we simply need more of our affordable housing spread out amongst our neighboring cities to avoid the concentrations of poverty. And we need more people of means, all means, be that time, money, love, or others, to choose Davenport. Much of our effort in the city is put into treating some of the symptoms of this problem. 2 brand new programs that I can think of right away is the Youth Assessment Center that oftentimes is treating kids who do not have a support system at home, and the Davenport Dream and Davenport Dream Plus program, which is addressing the divestment in some of our neighborhoods. So I know it's not fair to put all of that on your household's shoulders, and it would not solve the problem if we all lived in Davenport. But faced with this vote, it's hard for me not to lead with my heart, and I can't help but try to compel people, professionals of high character, to choose Davenport. Change doesn't come all at once, it's a wave, and we need more executives and professionals like you to give Davenport a shot. Because this is a personal matter, let me speak briefly about why I choose Davenport. I grew up in Bettendorf, was born and raised, and then when I returned home, for me, I simply just wanted to be where all the cool stuff was happening. For me back then as a young man, a lot of times it was the entertainment, the events downtown, etc. But it was hard for me not to get involved, and then as I've become an older man, it's been attractive to me for a lot of other reasons with my family. And most recent example would be my very first experience getting my kids involved in youth sports. So we went into Davenport Central High School, and we went through a maze of an experience trying to find the old wrestling room. And when we got there, there was no sign-up sheet. I didn't know who to give my money to. Really, there was nothing there but a bunch of people that were welcoming and were ready for us to get busy. We missed a few practices because my kids are soft like their dad, And they immediately were reaching out to us to figure out what was the matter and how they could get us back involved. And so for me, at that wrestling experience, all the things that came up short of my initial expectations, all of the things that made my experience less pristine, ultimately went a long ways to make my experience more perfect. And for me, that's a lot what Davenport is like. What makes Davenport less pristine is often what makes it more perfect. And I know that I'm speaking as a white guy living a charmed life, but it matters a lot to me. I'm reminded of what my colleague Marianne McGinnis recently said about her neighborhood, about how in her neighborhood you're not always insulated from each other's problems, and oftentimes you rely on each other to get by. And I'll probably botch this, but something that was really compelling to me that Alderman Grip once said was that in the public school experience, sometimes when things fall short of your pristine expectations, you're reminded that that's not the point of a public school. The point of a public school is of people of all means coming together for the betterment of the community. And ultimately, for me, the things that will make my kids' education perhaps less than pristine will ultimately make it more perfect. That's Davenport. We do not and we cannot make a single decision without weighing how it will affect all of our citizens. I'm proud of all the things that we do. And you know, right now I have a lot to give, and someday I may not, but either way, I'll be glad that I'm surrounded by my Davenport neighbors. So for me, that is all of the heart strain that comes behind this decision. Couldn't help but share it with you, and that's where I stand. Thanks for your indulgence on that. Alderwoman Lee.
Thank you very much. If I understand, and help me, staff, part of this ordinance gives a certain amount of time for somebody to move into Davenport. Am I correct on that? Or is it just that they can live within a particular area?
Under state law, you're given 2 years to move into the boundaries that are set.
Is that all civil servants or?
Yes, that's civil service.
Okay, so we may hire someone from outside Davenport, but within 2 years, they'll be part of the community per state law? Did I get that right?
With this, that's the normal state of affairs. This, of course, is expanding the boundaries.
Yes.
So you'd have 2 years to get into the newer, larger boundaries.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I understand.
Alderman Ortiz.
Thank you, Alderman Jojen. Staff, just to understand too, for the public and myself to make sure I read it correctly, this doesn't pertain to if you're a director or a chief, you have to live in Davenport. So this would be positions under director and chief that this would include. But if you're a director or chief, you would have to live in Davenport to get that position.
So you are correct. This pertains to civil service employees, and I'd like to add on to what Tom said and be clear. We do not have a City of Davenport residency requirement for civil service employees. It's Scott County plus the 10th meridian of Muscatine County. So I want to be very clear that we're comparing apples to apples. For department heads who report to me, who I essentially have jurisdiction over, their employment letters make residency within the City of Davenport contingent upon holding that position.
So like I said, thank you, City Administrator Spiegel, because to me that's important and kind of goes to what Alderman Jones is saying. The people that are going to make the tough decisions live here in Davenport. Their kids hopefully go to Davenport schools. Hopefully, like I said, so that's just important to me that we note that the directors, the people that will make the big decisions, reside in Davenport. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Mayor Mattson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for allowing me to speak. So I just, since it's basically the end of the reading here, I just want to kind of, again, reiterate where I went also. Historically, I've always said if you work for Davenport, you should live in Davenport. I still believe that. And I'm totally adamant with the rule that the city administrator, the directors must live, and we're all pretty much cool with that. So that's cool. But as we've talked about in other issues, as we evolve, as we understand circumstances, and as we think about particular issues and look at it from a comprehensive point, I support it. I totally understand what you're saying, Alderman Condon. I think if you're vested in a place, you should be vested in the place by living there. Having said that, I understand why we're doing this. And I have learned over time, and I've discussed this here and other places, the location of your residence does not determine your proficiency in your job. The maturity of the decision-making, that's what's critical. So I just want to be clear. Maybe that sounds like a circle. I do believe you should live in Davenport, but I understand why we're doing it. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Item number 2, I plan to blow your guys' minds by memorizing this for the last time, but I brought my soapbox with me instead.
Cover this up.
Yeah. Item number 2 is a third consideration, ordinance amending chapters 13.16.107A and 13.16.107B entitled Sanitary Sewer Rates, amount from $5.45 to $5.72 to $6.01 to $6.31 per 100 cubic feet of water use as determined by water meter readings, and amending per bill rates for monthly commercial bills from $20.80 to $21.84 to $22.93 to $24.08, and amending per bill rates for monthly residential bills from $20.97 to $11.96 to $12.45 to $12.96, and per bill rates for quarterly residential bills from $28.47 to $29.87 to $31.34 to $32.88, and quarterly commercial bills from $27.97 to $29.37 to $30.84 to $32.38. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Alderman Ortiz?
Thank you, Your Honor, for the opportunity to congratulate you. The first time you read that to the third time you read that, you should be proud of yourself. That was actually impressive.
Thank you. Mayor Mattson.
And in the spirit of what Ms. Spiegel, today was a big reading day, so Mr. Condon should be, again, appreciated. So I just want to add and draw attention to, historically, many years ago, we used to wait and not raise the sewer rate every year, and then we'd have a dramatic raise, and everybody would yell at us, and then we decided years ago to have a small incremental percentage raise. What we're doing here is the percentage is actually less than we do. So I would like the public and like this to be said to people that historically we go in around, and Ms. Merritt can give me the thing, a 7% increase. This is a 5%. So we're actually lowering the percentage of the raise, and we're going to continue to do that. That's the plan. So when we hear things about you're raising the rate, well, we always raise the rate every year. The percentage and level that we're raising, we are now lowering that, and we'll work to continue to do that. So if that made sense, I just wanted to draw attention to that. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Item number 3 is a resolution setting a public hearing on granting an overhead electrical easement across city-owned property located at 3400 Brady Street, parcel P1316-03 to Mid-American Energy. Anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? That item will move on. Item number 4 is a resolution setting a public hearing on the proposed perpetual non-exclusive easement to construct, reconstruct, operate, maintain, replace, or remove electric supply lines for the transmission and distribution of electric energy and for communication and electrical controls related to guarantees operations, Mid-American Energy Company petitioner. Anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? Item number 5 is a resolution approving the purchase of 5 vehicles for the police department from Strevers Ford of Waukee, Iowa, in the amount of $192,474 using the State of Iowa Department of Administrative Services contract number MA20103 CIP number 24027. Anyone from the public wishing to address this item? Council? That will move on. Item number 6 is a motion approving the purchase of a compact excavator from Martin Equipment of Rock Island, Illinois, in the amount of $86,277.78 using Sourcewell contract number 032119-JDC. Anyone from the public wishing to address item number 6? Council? Item number 7 is a motion approving the renewal of excess flood insurance for fiscal year 2023 with Trisura Specialty Insurance Company in the amount of $70,720.20. Anyone from the public wishing to address that item? Council? And item number 8 is a motion approving an exclusive beverage contract for Parks and Recreation Department locations to Pepsi Cola Bottling Company of Davenport, Iowa. Anyone from the public wishing to address item number 8? Council? Below on our agenda, I'm sorry, I missed you. Alderwoman Lee.
No, actually, I have a question on one of the 6 below.
Okay. Below, we have purchases of $10,000 to $50,000. We don't typically read each of those out loud. They're listed here for the public's knowledge. And Alderwoman Lee, if you have a question, I'll recognize you now.
Thank you very much. I just have a question on number 5. Is that going towards our watershed comprehensive plan? Excellent. Thank you.
Seeing no one else, I'll ask Alderman Cornett to please set our agenda.
I move that all items be placed on the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
All those opposed?
That concludes finance, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Condon and Alderman Cornett. Next area is, are there any other ordinance, motions, and resolutions? There are none for this evening. Next item, is there any public business? If there is, please come to the podium, microphones above you. This is to address any items other than what was on the agenda tonight. You'll have 5 minutes. Please address us as a body. Thank you. We'd love to know where you're from and name.
Good evening. My name is Dale Gilmore. I live in the 6th Ward. I promised to address safety tonight, and I will. I'll discuss both pedestrian and traffic safety. Next week, I will discuss motorist pedestrian destination safety, and on the 16th, I will tell you why I love the downtown. Let's begin with a brief review of what we've covered so far. Last week, we looked at the complaints of drag racing and speeding in downtown. Drag racing and speeding should not be tolerated on any street anywhere. We agreed that drag racing and speeding is not a natural product of one-way streets. It's a product of law enforcement. How many times have you seen the speed ban on a one-way street? It's almost always on a two-way street. And the DDP, Downtown Davenport Partnership, stated that speed limits, it stated that if the conversion occurred, speed limits will not change. I offered 2 alternatives to this issue and reminded you that nothing has yet been tried. I also stated that I believe any conversion must continue all the way to Telegraph Road and gave reasons why. If we only go to Marquette, I'm sure we will eventually need to continue to Telegraph Road at another substantial cost. Now for tonight's topics. First, let's address motorists who turn the wrong way on 3rd and 4th Street. I believe this is a product of one of 2 reasons. The first one could be addressed by additional signage. Brian Schatt told us last week that if the conversion were to happen, some 190 additional signs would need to be posted. Well, how about posting some signs now? Inform drivers that they are at a one-way street. The overhead traffic signal crossbars would be a perfect location. And let's be real here. A driver turning the wrong way on 3rd and 4th Street may be embarrassing and inconvenient, but when was the last time you read or heard about a head-on crash there? Maybe never? The errant driver usually just pulls to one side, lets traffic proceed, then makes a U-turn. The second reason a person may turn the wrong way on a 3rd or 4th Street involves either the consumption of alcohol or a controlled substance. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. My second topic tonight involves pedestrian safety. Personally, I believe pedestrian safety should be the #1 issue in downtown Davenport. All signal intersections downtown have walk, don't walk signals. These are intended to assist pedestrians when it's safest to cross the street. But what about the non-signaled intersections? Do you expect a pedestrian to engage in a game of human Frogger? Absolutely not. I have an answer to this problem too, and it doesn't cost $1.7 million. Most of you will remember when the city installed the pedestrian crossing light at Cobham on Hickory Grove Road. Cobham paid for that. This pedestrian light remains green until someone pushes the button to cross. The light then cycles to yellow and then to red. When traffic stops, it's safer for a pedestrian to cross the street. I was told this pedestrian controlled light had a cost of $9,000. Since this was last summer, let's add another 11% to the price for inflation. Figure on $10,000 each. If we had 10 of these to 4th Street and 10 of these to 3rd Street at the non-signaled intersections, the total cost would be only $200,000, a savings of $1.5 million. And I believe we could get by with a lot fewer than 10 on each street. Next week, I'll address the concerns for the motorist pedestrian destination issue. The following week, I will tell you why I love the downtown. Stay tuned next week for the motorist pedestrian issue. I believe you'll find it to be the most informative, well thought out, and logical solution so far, and it costs absolutely nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one, City Administrator, anything else? Very good. Motion to adjourn? Second, all in favor? All right, be good, be safe, pray for peace.